Hello everyone. Today we'll have a new lesson about programming languages that start with letter G. Game Maker language, scripting language. Game Maker, originally Animo and later Game Maker until 2011, is a series of cross-platform game engines created by Mark Overmars in 1999 and developed by Yo-Yo Games since 2007. The latest iteration is Game Maker Studio 2, first released in 2017. GameMaker accommodates the creation of cross-platform and multi-genre video games using a custom drag-and-drop visual programming language or a scripting language. Known as GameMaker language, which can be used to develop more advanced games that could not be created just by using the drag-and-drop features. GameMaker was originally designed to allow novice computer programmers to be able to make computer games without much programming knowledge by use of these actions. Recent versions of software also focus on appealing to advanced developers. GameMonkey Script. GameMonkey Script is a small cross-platform scripting language designed for embedding into games. GameMonkey bears many similarities to Lua, except the syntax is more similar to that of C. GameMonkey Script was written in 2002 by Matthew Rick and Greg Douglas as part of a closed-source project for Auran development. However, on 12 June 2003, Auran granted license for the full source code of GameMonkey to be released to the public under the MIT license. It is currently being used in commercial and hobby applications on a wide range of machines from the Windows PC, Apple Mac, and Microsoft Xbox to Sony's PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Wii, and various distributions of Linux. GAMS. The General Algebraic Modeling System, or GAMS, is a high-level modeling system for mathematical optimization. GAMS is designed for modeling and solving linear, non-linear, and mixed integer optimization problems. The system is tailored for complex, large-scale modeling applications and allows the user to build large, maintainable models that can be adapted to new situations. The system is available for use on various computer platforms. Models are portable from one platform to another. GAP. GAP, or Groups, Algorithms, and Programming, is a computer algebra system for computational discrete algebra with particular emphasis on computational group theory. GAP was developed at l'Institut de Mathématiques or LDFM, Westphalische Technische Hochschule Aachen, Germany from 1986 to 1997. G-code. G-code, also RS-274, which has many variants, is the common name for the most widely used computer numerical control or CNC programming language. It is used mainly in computer-aided manufacturing to control automated machine tools. G-code is a language in which people tell computerized machine tools how to make something. The how is defined by G-code instructions provided to a machine controller or industrial computer that tells the motors where to move, how fast to move, and what path to follow. The two most common situations are that within a machine tool such as a lathe or mill, a cutting tool is moved according to these instructions through a toolpath cutting away material to leave only the finished workpiece and or an unfinished workpiece is precisely positioned in any of up to 9 axes around the 3 dimensions relative to a toolpath, and either or both can move relative to each other. GDScript. Godot is a 2D and 3D cross-platform, free and open-source game engine released under the MIT license. It was initially developed by Juan Linus K. and Ariel Manzer for several companies in Latin America prior to its public release. The development environment runs on multiple operating systems including Linux, Mac OS, and Microsoft Windows. Godot can create games targeting PC, mobile, and web platforms. Genie. Genie is a modern general-purpose high-level programming language in development since 2008. It was designed as an alternative, simpler, and cleaner dialect for the Vala compiler, while preserving the same functionality of the Vala language. Genie uses the same compiler and libraries as Vala. The two can indeed be used alongside each other. The differences are only syntactic. GDL. In computer-aided design, Geometric Description Language or GDL is the programming language of ArchiCAD library parts. GSM is the file format of these CAD objects. GDL is a free technology, although ArchiCAD itself is a commercial software. It is allowed and possible to develop GDL-based object libraries using free tools like Graphisoft, LPXML Converter, and Graphisoft GDL Web Plugin. The GDL programming language is basic-like. It has the same control flow in statements and variable logic. George. George or General Order Generator is a programming language invented by Charles Leonard Hamblin in 1957. It was designed around a push-down pop-up stack for arithmetic operations and employed reverse Polish notation. The language included loops, subroutines, conditionals, vectors, and matrices. GLSL. OpenGL Shading Language or GLSL is a high-level shading language with a syntax based on the C programming language. It was created by the OpenGL ARB or OpenGL Architecture Review Board to give developers more direct control of the graphics pipeline without having to use ARB assembly language or hardware-specific languages. GNUE. GNUE is an extension of C++ designed for writing software systems to support persistent applications. It was designed as part of the Exodus project. GNU Guile. GNU Ubiquitous Intelligent Language for Extensions or GNU Guile is the preferred extension language system for the GNU project and features an implementation of the programming language scheme. Its first version was released in 1993. In addition to large parts of scheme standards, Guile scheme includes modularized extensions for many different programming tasks. For extending programs, Guile offers libguile, which allows the language to be embedded in other programs and integrated closely through the C Language Application Programming Interface or API. Similarly, new data types and subroutines defined through the C API can be made available as extensions to Guile. Go. Go is a statically typed compiled programming language designed at Google by Robert Kusimer, Rob Pike, and Ken Thompson. Go is syntactically similar to C but with memory safety, garbage collection, structural typing, and CSP-style concurrency. The language is often referred to as Golang because of its domain name golang.org, but the proper name is Go. Go. Go is an agent-based programming language in the tradition of logic-based programming languages like Prolog. It was introduced in a 2003 paper by Francis McCabe and Kate Clark. The authors of Go describe it as a multi-paradigm programming language that is oriented to the needs of programming secure, production quality, and agent-based applications. It is multi-threaded, strongly typed, and higher order in the functional programming sense. It has relation, function, and action procedure definitions. Threads execute action procedures, calling functions, and querying relations as needed. Threads in different agents communicate and coordinate using asynchronous messages. Threads within the same agent can also use shared dynamic relations acting as lambda-style tuple stores. Goal. Game-oriented assembly Lisp or Go is a programming language, a dialect of the language Lisp, made for video games developed by Andy Gavin and the Jack and Daxter team at the company Naughty Dog. It was written using Allegro Common Lisp and used in the development of the entire Jack and Daxter series of games. Gödel. Gödel is a declarative general-purpose programming language that adheres to the logic programming paradigm. It is a strongly typed language, the type system being based on many sorted logic with parametric polymorphism. It is named after logician Kurt Gödel. Golo. Golo is a computer software, a programming language for the Java Virtual Machine or JVM. It is simple with dynamic, quick typing. It was created in 2012 as part of the research activities of the Dynamic Group of the Center of Innovation in Telecommunications and Integration of Service or CITE laboratory at Institut National des Sciences Appliquées de Lyon or INSA. It is distributed as free and open source software under the Eclipse Public License 2.0. GOM or Good Old MAD. MAD or Michigan Algorithm Decoder is a programming language and compiler for the IBM 704 and later the IBM 709, IBM 7090, IBM 7040, UNIVAC 1107, UNIVAC 1108, Pilco 210 to 211, and eventually the IBM S370 mainframe computers, developed in 1959 at the University of Michigan by Bernard Geller, Bruce Arden, and Robert M. Graham. MAD is a variant of the Algol language. It was widely used to teach programming at colleges and universities during the 1960s and played a minor role in the development of CTSS, Multics, and the Michigan Terminal System computer operating systems. Google Apps Script. GDScript is a scripting platform developed by Google for lightweight application development in the Google Workspace platform. Google GDScript was initially developed by Mike Harm as a side project while working as a developer on Google Sheets. Google GDScript was first publicly announced in May 2009 when a beta testing program was announced by Jonathan Rochelle, then product manager Google Docs. In August 2009, Google GDScript was subsequently made available to all Google Apps Premier and Education Edition customers. It is based on JavaScript 1.6 but also includes some portions of 1.7 and 1.8 and a subset of the ECMAScript 5 API. GDScript projects run server-side on Google's infrastructure. Gosu. Gosu is a statically typed general-purpose programming language that runs on the Java virtual machine. Its influences include Java, C#, and ECMAScript. Development of Gosu began in 2002 internally for GuideWire software, and the language saw its first community release in 2010 under the Apache 2 license. Gosu can serve as a scripting language, having free-form program types or .gsp files for scripting, as well as statically verified template files or .gst files. Gosu can optionally execute this and all other types directly from source without pre-compilation, which also distinguishes it from other static languages. GOTRAN. IBM 1620 GOTRAN Interpreted Programming System. This reference manual explains the GOTRAN system, a subset of 1620 four-track language. The text progresses step by step from basic fundamentals to complete sample problems that facilitate the writing of GOTRAN programs. Some familiarity with the 1620 computer, mathematics, and data processing is assumed. The IBM 1620 was announced by IBM on October 21, 1959 and marketed as an inexpensive scientific computer. After a total production of about 2,000 machines, it was withdrawn on November 19, 1970. Modified versions of the 1620 were used as the CPU of the IBM 1710 and IBM 1720 industrial process control systems, making it the first digital computer considered reliable enough for real-time process control of factory equipment. GPSS General Purpose Simulation System or GPSS is a discrete time simulation general purpose programming language where a simulation clock advances in discrete steps. A system is modeled as transactions enter the system and are passed from one service represented by blocks to another. It is used primarily as a process flow-oriented simulation language. This is particularly well suited for problems such as factoring. GPSS was developed by IBM's Geoffrey Gordon at the beginning of the 1960s. He named it Gordon's Programmable Simulation System. The name was changed when IBM decided to release it as a project. GraphTalk. GraphTalk is a complete administration system that enables insurers to respond quickly to new market opportunities, better service their customers and distributors, and create more efficient, cost-effective process. Language is called GraphTalk, a mix between Java and Prolog, and used for insurance industry. GRASS. GRASS or Graphics Symbiosis System is a programming language created to script 2D vector graphics animations. GRASS was similar to BASIC in syntax but added numerous instructions for specifying 2D object animation, including scaling, translation, and rotation over time. These functions were directly supported by the Vector General 3D Graphics Terminal GRASS was written for. It quickly became a hit with the artistic community who were experimenting with a new medium of computer graphics and is most famous for its use by Larry Cuba to create the original Attacking in the Death Star Will Not Be Easy animation in Star Wars in 1977. Grasshopper. Grasshopper is a visual programming language and environment that runs within the Rhinoceros 3D Computer Aided Designer CAD application. The program was created by David Rutten at Robert McNeil and Associates. Programs are created by dragging components onto a canvas. The outputs to these components are then connected to the inputs of subsequent components. Groovy. Apache Groovy is a Java syntax-compatible object-oriented programming language for the Java platform. It is both a static and dynamic language with features similar to those of Python, Ruby, and Smalltalk. It can be used as both a programming language and a scripting language for the Java platform. It's compiled to Java Virtual Machine or JVM bytecode and interoperates seamlessly with other Java code and libraries. Groovy uses a curly bracket syntax similar to Java. Groovy supports closures, multi-line strings, and expressions embedded in strings. Much of Groovy's power lies in it as AST transformations triggered through annotations. That's all for the discussions about the programming languages that start with letter G. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.